Toyota sells millions of cars every year, but did you know its first car sold just over 1,000 units and almost disappeared forever? Before the legendary names like Corolla, Camry, and Supra, there was one humble beginning. It was a car few people have ever seen, built when Japan was just learning to make automobiles. This was the Toyota AA, launched in 1936, the company's very first passenger car. Originally branded as Toyota, this vehicle is the foundation of the entire Toyota Motor Corporation. In this video, we'll explore everything about the Toyota A8's origin, design, engine, price, and the dramatic story of why it vanished from history. Join us as we uncover the fascinating tale of Toyota's first ever car. From A to Z, want to know the story behind Toyota's very first car? To get the full picture, we have to travel back to the early 1930s in Japan. Back then, if you saw a car on the road, it was almost certainly American. Brands like Ford and Chevrolet completely dominated the market. Why? Because Japan's own auto industry was practically non-existent. They just didn't have the technology or the factories to build their own cars. And here's the surprising part. Toyota didn't even start with cars. They were originally called Toyota Automatic Loom Works, making machines for the textile industry. The founder, Sakichi Toyoda, was a genius inventor. But it was his son, Kiichiro Toyoda, who had a radical new dream to build a Japanese car for the Japanese people. That dream would change everything. Stay tuned to see what happened next, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have you ever wondered where it all began for Toyota, one of the biggest car companies in the world? It wasn't with a flashy sports car or a futuristic hybrid. It all started with a bold vision and a single elegant sedan born in a time of great change. Back in the early 20th century, Japan's roads were dominated by foreign cars. He was the son of Sakichi Toyoda, the inventor of the automatic loom, and innovation was in his blood. During his trips abroad, Kiichiro was captivated by the booming auto industries in the West. He saw the intricate dance of the assembly lines, the power of mass production, and he became convinced that Japan not only could, but should build its own cars. This was a radical idea. In the early 1930s, the common belief in Japan was that car manufacturing was too complex, too expensive, and simply beyond the nation's capabilities. But Kiichiro was a man of conviction. He established an automobile division within his family's successful business. The Toyota Automatic Loom Works. It was a massive gamble, a leap of faith into the unknown, betting the family's fortune on a dream that many considered impossible. They experimented with metallurgy, casting, and engine design, often failing and starting over. Their workshop was a laboratory of trial and error, but their persistence was unwavering. Finally, after countless hours of research and development, their hard work paid off. In 1936, they unveiled their very first production passenger car. It was called the Toyoda Model AA. This wasn't just a new car, it was a statement. The AA marked Japan's serious entry into the world of passenger car manufacturing. It was a symbol of national ambition and technological aspiration. Now, you might have noticed I said Toyoda, not Toyota. Its sleek aerodynamic shape was heavily influenced by the groundbreaking Chrysler Airflow, a car that had stunned the world a few years earlier. In the 1930s, American cars were the gold standard of style and progress. Compared to the boxy, utilitarian vehicles common in Japan at the time, the four-door AA looked incredibly futuristic and sophisticated. It was a rolling piece of modern art on Japanese roads. The engine was paired with a 3-speed manual transmission that sent power to the rear wheels. This handcrafted quality and advanced design came at a price. The Toyota AA was not a car for the average person. It was an expensive machine, costing about as much as an imported American car. This placed it well out of reach for most Japanese families. Its target market was the elite of society. The primary buyers were government departments, military officers, large corporations, and wealthy individuals who wanted to make a statement. Owning a Toyota AA wasn't just about transportation. It was about patriotism. It was a visible symbol of support for Japan's industrial ambitions. Driving an AA was a declaration of faith in the nation's ability to compete on the world stage. While it may not have been a commercial blockbuster in terms of sales volume, its strategic importance was immense. It proved that Kichiro Toyoda's dream was not impossible. It laid the foundation, both in technology and in spirit, for everything that would come next. Thanks for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed learning about the birth of Toyota, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories from automotive history. Have you ever heard of the Toyota AA? No, don't worry, you're not alone. This isn't your everyday Camry or Corolla. In fact, it's one of the rarest, most important cars you've probably never seen. It's the car that started it all for Toyota, the seed from which a global automotive giant grew. And its story is packed with ambition, failure, war, and even a jaw-dropping discovery in the Siberian wilderness. This is the incredible tale of the Toyota AA. Let's rewind to the 1930s. Japan was an emerging industrial power. But when it came to cars, American brands like Ford and Chrysler dominated the roads. The idea of a Japanese company building a truly competitive passenger car seemed almost laughable. But one man, Kichiro Toyoda, the founder of Toyota, had a bold vision. He wasn't just content with building looms for the textile industry. He wanted to build a car for the people of Japan. After reverse engineering and studying American models, his team set out to create something uniquely their own. The result, unveiled in 1936, was the Toyota Model AA, Just look at it. With its sleek aerodynamic curves, it was a far cry from the boxy vehicles of the time. It was heavily inspired by the Chrysler Airflow, one of the most advanced designs of its era. Under the hood, it had a 3.4-litre inline-six engine, which was reliable and powerful for its day. The interior was surprisingly comfortable, designed to provide a smooth ride on Japan's often unpaved roads. The Toyota AA wasn't just a car, it was a statement. It was a declaration that Japan could compete on the world stage. When the Toyota AA hit the streets, public reaction was a mixed bag, but there was an undeniable sense of national pride. For the first time, people could buy a modern, stylish passenger car that was proudly made in Japan. Those who got to ride in it praised its smooth suspension and its sophisticated appearance. It felt solid, well-built, and its engine was dependable. It was a symbol of progress, a testament to Japanese engineering. However, the AA was far from a runaway success. In fact, it had some major weaknesses. First, the price. It was incredibly expensive, putting it out of reach for the average person. Think of it more as a luxury item than a family car. Then there was availability. Toyota's production capabilities were still in their infancy, and they simply couldn't make enough of them. And of course, there was the fierce competition. American imports were cheaper, more powerful, and readily available. The AA, with its heavy body and relatively modest performance, struggled to compete on pure specs. In reality, the Toyota AA was never meant to be a bestseller. It was a learning project, a rolling prototype. It was Toyota's automotive university, where they learned the incredibly complex art of mass-producing cars. Between 1936 and 1943, only about 1,404 units of the Model AA were ever built. To put that in perspective, Toyota now builds that many cars in about an hour. This extremely low production number officially makes the Toyota AA one of the rarest production cars the company has ever made. So what happened to those 1,404 cars? Why can't you find one at your local classic car show? The answer is brutal and tragic. World War II, as Japan's focus shifted entirely to the war effort, the production of passenger cars came to a screeching halt. Toyota, like all other major industries, was ordered by the government to redirect all its resources toward building trucks and military vehicles. Materials like steel and rubber became incredibly scarce and were prioritized for the war. Production of the Toyota AA officially ended, its promising start cut short by global conflict. After the war, Japan was a nation in ruins. The country faced devastating shortages, and survival was the priority. But what happened to the few Toyota AAs that were still around? Most were likely scrapped for their metal, melted down to be used for rebuilding or for other, more urgent needs. Some were probably lost to the chaos of war, while others simply rusted away, victims of poor long-term preservation. For decades, it was widely believed that not a single original Toyota AA had survived. The car that started it all had vanished from the face of the earth. It existed only in old photographs, company blueprints, and the memories of a select few. It became a ghost, a legend in Toyota's history. For nearly 70 years, the story stayed that way. Toyota themselves couldn't find an original. For their own museum, they had to build a replica from scratch in the 1980s, based on the original plans, because no surviving example could be located. The Toyota AA was considered extinct. But then, in 2017, something absolutely unbelievable happened. The automotive world was completely stunned by a discovery in one of the most remote places imaginable. A nearly complete original Toyota AA was found on a farm in the vast frozen wilderness of Siberia, Russia. You heard that right, Siberia. The car had been owned by the same family for decades and was still largely intact. It had been modified over the years, of course, but the core chassis, engine, and body were undeniably authentic. The cold, dry climate had helped preserve it from the rust and decay that would have destroyed it elsewhere. After a lengthy negotiation, the car was acquired by the Lauman Museum in the Netherlands, a world-renowned car museum. Experts confirmed its authenticity. Against all odds, the ghost had returned. This discovery sent shockwaves through the classic car community and rewrote a major chapter of Toyota's history. The Toyota AA was not a commercial success. It was expensive, slow, and rare, but its true value isn't measured in sales numbers. Its impact was historic. This single project laid the entire foundation for the Toyota we know today. It's where the company developed its core engineering philosophy, the very beginnings of what would become the famous Toyota production system. It taught them how to design, engineer, and build cars from the ground up. Without the lessons learned from the AAS failures and successes, future legendary models like the Land Cruiser, the Crown, and the Corolla might never have existed. Today, the Toyota AA is remembered for what it truly is, the genesis of Toyota. It's a powerful symbol of Japanese industrial ambition and the courage to take a huge risk. It represents the willingness to fail, to learn, and to persevere. It proved that a Japanese company, starting from almost nothing, could design and build a proper passenger car that could stand on its own. From this humble, nearly forgotten beginning, Toyota grew into a global titan, a company that produces millions of vehicles a year and continues to shape the future of mobility. The Toyota AA is so much more than just a car. It is the origin story of Toyota itself. Thanks for joining me on this journey back in time. It's stories like this that make car history so fascinating. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing automotive stories. See you in the next one.